Number 10.
That also inclusive of the other one, to the general commercial?
Yes,
Should be
the way
on.
the local law was
Okay.
presented to you
That's
includes
right.
that as well, yes.
Number 10. We have a public hearing to establish a procedure for the town to cut excessive brush and grass and to charge the associated cost back to the landowner. I have proof of publication from Richard Key in the Eagle newspapers that notification was indeed published, and proof of posting from Town Clerk Tracy M. Costelman. The notice was posted on the bulletin board at the proper time. Wayne?
Yes, this is an attempt to just allow us to get these properties cleaned up faster when we receive complaints. It's not going to be as fast as everybody would like, but it will certainly help in the future.
In the light of people losing their homes, foreclosures and everything else, that we get calls weekly on people in neighborhoods around the town that do not cut the grass. And it could be 3, 4, 5 foot tall, and it just looks terrible. Wayne and I have kicked this around for a long time, and you know, to go through the procedure that we did in the past, it could take 2 months at least. And by the time we get the grass cut, it's fall again. And people are very frustrated with this. So I believe that this is a good measure that I think it's going to help us. It's definitely a step in the right direction, and if we have to tweak it a little bit more, we will. I'll open the public hearing at this time. I'll solicit comments to those who are in favor of this new procedure.
In favor?
Yes. I understand you have one in your neighborhood anyhow.
Cool.
Two in your neighborhood.
Two million. Yes, please, whatever it takes, clean it up.
See, you understand, because when people don't clean up their yard, it's just a mess.
It's awful.
It's terrible.
It is, I agree.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak in favor?
Mike Boyle, 5984 Heritage Trail. I'm all in favor of getting a property owner to, you know, keep their property tidy. But I guess the question is, who sets the guidelines? I mean, you have guidelines here. What's the maximum height one can be before you can do that?
There's a minimum height that's established by the New York State Building Code.
Minimum or maximum?
Well,
Minimum in order to do something.
yeah, minimum in order to do something. That's
Okay.
correct. And it's 10 inches.
And that's
We
what's
can't do anything until it gets 10 inches high. I mean, we don't want to start mowing lawns when they get 4 inches high, or we'd be mowing them every week.
And is there gonna, I don't mean to be condescending or anything, but is there gonna be like a lawn police that run around looking for this, or is it gonna be just on somebody call?
Both. I mean, our inspectors are on the road daily, and if they spot one, they file it, and we also get complaints on a daily basis. And, you know, and then we follow up on those too.
Is there any legal issues with going on the property, somebody's property to do this?
It's set up so that there's proper notice and due process given to the property owner before steps are taken by the town and before any associated costs are placed on the owner's tax bill.
We've always given everybody the opportunity to mow their own grass, but sometimes they just basically ignore us.
The problem we have now is a lot of these houses are in foreclosure, and we're dealing with banks. We have a couple where the owners have passed away, and we're dealing with an estate. I mean, there's a number of different circumstances here, and this will allow us to at least get it done and put it on the tax roll.
If somebody is hurt from the town that's doing this, whoever you employ, where's the liability line?
We do not do it, we subcontract it out
But where does the liability lie?
with the company that's doing the work.
So even though the town's employing and exercising against the property owner, if somebody's hurt, they're not responsible.
That's a legal question, you know.
I believe what we typically do when anybody is performing work on behalf of the town, we make sure that they have liability insurance and the town is named as an additional insured.
Well, I would say you want the town to be held harmless, harmless in their work.
That's what the additional insured is.
So anyone else would like to speak in favor? Would anyone like to speak in opposition? I'll close the public hearing at this time, solicit town board comments.
You know, this is a problem that we have had here in the town for 20 years.
I mean, this isn't anything new, and every year we'll end up, and normally it's an abandoned house or where, like Wayne said, that somebody has died or so on and so forth. But we have done this, and then we take and assess the tax bill for what it costs us to do it. So this has been a long time coming, and we really do need it.
I have a question. Say you generate additional taxes for a property, and the people have abandoned the residence because of foreclosure. They've just left. It's sitting there now, the bank owns it. The bank isn't paying for mowing and cutting. It sits on the tax roll. Is the new, if people buy this house, are they now responsible for that?
Generally
It's a
speaking,
lien?
yes, when you take title to premises, you're responsible for any back taxes that you may be taking the property subject to.
You know, it's
My
been,
So it
understanding.
could be a detriment to them selling a property if, I mean, I hope
It's a
cutting grass
detriment
is,
to leave the lawn long.
well, I understand that, but I'm just saying, I'm just, you know, thinking
My
out loud, so to
understanding,
speak.
Charlotte, is that at the end of the year, the county, and correct me if I'm wrong, Gene, but the county reimburses pays our share of the taxes on the property. And they, when the property is sold or goes to auction, then the county gets that money. So
From
by
the-
the end of the year,
from the new-
we're all square.
Okay, from the new owners,
Yeah.
or as
Well,
part
from
of
the
the,
county, and then the county will be reimbursed by the new owners when the property is eventually sold or sold at auction.
Brad, will it be rolled into their new taxes, or will it be a separate fee?
It's just added.
Those
It'd be a
fees will
line
be
item.
put on the tax bill.
A fee, a line item?
Yeah.
Generally, if I remember right, we were talking a couple $100s, weren't we? As
Yes,
a-
it
as a
varies by
charge?
the size of the lawn, how bad shape it is, what cleaning has to be done to even get in there with the lawnmower. It depends on a lot of things. And in the past, it's been anywhere from $50 to $150.
Okay. Just that, there, you know, there's a lot of people just walking away from something they can't afford, and they're, you know, it's just, you know, it's being overgrown, and it's a sad situation that neighborhoods are getting like this.
Well, I mean, we refer to this as, just brush and lawn, but it also applies to, upkeep. Say a swimming pool is
Yeah,
left.
yeah.
Something like that. We had a house in Brewerton where the doors were open and unsecured. There's a number of issues that, we want to treat the same way.
You have to put up plywood or something
Right.
like that.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
I know in the past that where the banks have taken property back or company that sells real estate, they would come out and clean them up. I mean, there wasn't really a lot. There was just the ones that were abandoned that you had to go out and clean.
Well, I mean, the banks are still doing it.
Right.
They're doing the one across from Deborah's house, but, it takes them a long time to
Long time
get
to get it.
motivated to do it.
Right.
Wayne, just a quick question. You've corralled yourself or restricted yourself just to residential districts. Is there any reason why we haven't included, I mean, there's probably, I don't know if any exist now, but in the future, the neighborhood commercial or general commercial
Oh, yes,
properties
there are.
that are abandoned?
That's a good question. We really didn't address
Yeah,
that.
we didn't, but we can.
We can't, yeah. I mean, because I can name two properties right now. One is the old Dell dealership.
Right.
And one is on this side of 481, the old Chinatown.
Right.
Those are two commercial properties that need to be cleaned up right now and mowed. So,
Is
And
it
I-
possible to
yeah.
even add that to this existing thing before we pass it?
Let me take a quick look, let's see what it says.
You've got it now, just a R20,
What
15,
section are you
12,
looking at?
10, and multiple residential.
What section are you looking at?
It's just in the
I think it's in
the definitions
Oh, okay.
on the second page of the top there.
Oh, yep. Do you want to just tonight amend it to also include, commercial and industrial districts?
On that, I'm asking the question.
No,
I
do
think
it.
that
I think that's a good idea, Bill.
Yep.
Okay,
Rather than dragging it out,
Okay.
it's good.
I mean, we don't see the number of complaints in those districts that we do in residential.
Right.
But I mean, it's still unsightly when you drive down Route 11 and see it.
Exactly.
Good idea, Bill.
Any other comments?
It's a good idea to put that in.
Motion to approve.
Second,
Mr. Conway?
With the
With the
addition.
amendment.
Exactly.
with the amendment,
Mr. Conway?
yes.
Ms. Tarwacki?
Yes.
Mr. Rada?
Yes.
Mr. Lozinski?